From the Massachusetts Broadcasters Station of the Year, this is Western Mass News at 6 p.m.
Good windy Wednesday evening, everyone. Welcome to Western Mass News at 6. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Jordyn Jaglenzer. We're expecting some severe weather to continue across Western Mass late into tonight, and we do have team coverage for you this evening, as thousands are currently without power. For the very latest on tonight's storms, let's send things first to meteorologist Don Maher.
Good evening, guys. It has certainly been an active afternoon out there. Good news is, though, you see the bulk of the severe weather has moved on out of Western Mass. It's now in parts of Connecticut and off to our east. In fact, the severe thunderstorm warning that you can see is actually to our east and to our south. At this point, no severe thunderstorm warnings in place, but that line moved through very quickly, and it certainly left its mark as it did. This line moved through at about 60 to 70 miles per hour. We even saw wind gusts up near 70 miles per hour. In fact, Barnes Airport in Westfield did record a wind gust to 74 miles per hour. You can see the storm damage reports are continuing to come in as this line has moved on out. Now, we are still a bit on the windy side out there, and that will continue for the next couple of hours. And then the wind should get a little bit lighter during the overnight. Another windy day coming our way tomorrow, but I do not expect the winds to be as strong. We still have that high wind warning that is in place for Franklin, Hampshire, Hampden County. Wind advisory remains in effect for Berkshire County. That is in effect until 2 a.m. on a Thursday morning. So we are gradually going to see those winds begin to come down. In fact, the wind gusts have come down. There are still some breezy conditions out there, but you see wind gusts right now basically between 25 and 30 miles per hour. Recent wind gust in Pittsfield to 28. Westfield, as I mentioned, they had that wind gust to 74. And even here in Springfield, we did record a wind gust to 59 miles per hour. Worcester, they had a wind gust to almost 60 miles per hour, but you can see the wind gusts have come down as that line has moved on off to our east and to our southeast. The winds will continue to get a bit lighter moving into the overnight, and then some dry weather coming our way for Thursday and Friday, albeit a little bit cooler around here. Talk about that in the full forecast in just a couple of minutes from now. Back to you.
And our team coverage continues with Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis, who is standing by in Northampton with more on how tonight's severe weather is impacting residents there.
But first, we go to Western Mass News reporter Lindsay Kane. She joins us live in Chicopee after speaking to several people who say a tree nearly fell on them during this storm. Lindsay.
Chris and Jordyn, a little girl tells me she's traumatized after what she saw here in Zott Park. Now take a look at this. This damage definitely speaks for itself. Look at this tree. It's collapsed in the middle of the park here, and it's actually landed on top of another tree. Now, as you said earlier, we caught up with a family who was actually in this park at the time of the storm and the strong winds, and they saw all of this go down. Take a listen to what they told us.
So we were over there in the house, and then the tree came down, so we started running because that tree fell down and the other one too, so we were scared. So we went inside the car. It's not even safe for the kids.
Now, they said that they waited in the car for about 20 minutes for the heavy rain to stop, and a member of their family actually says that she got hit in the head with a branch that looked pretty much just like this. She says she is okay, but it was definitely a very scary experience for them. Now, be sure to stick with Western Mass News on air and online for continued coverage of the storm. For now, I'm live in Chicopee. Lindsay Kane, Western Mass News.
Lindsay, thanks for that live report. Our team coverage continues now as we move to Northampton, where we're tracking down reports of more damage.
Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis joins us now live there. And Leon, what do you see?
Chris, Jordyn, now we've been here since the storm started in Northampton, and currently, as of now, there's more than 6,400 people without power. And when the storm first started, it was hailing in Northampton. Now, as we've been driving around here, we've been seeing debris on the ground, small branches, leaves, things like that. And also, when we set up this live shot here in Northampton, one person came out to us and told us how he saw that there was a tree on top of some down line. So there is some things here in Northampton that did happen when the storm did roll through, excuse me. And again, we're going to give you the latest developments both on air and online on westernmassnews.com. But for now, live in Northampton, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
Leon, thanks. Our viewers sending us what they're seeing across our area on our Share It app. Cindy from East Otis providing us with shots of rain and hail where she is. Also hail in Blandford tonight. A big thanks to Susan for sending us in that photo as well.
And we want to see what you're seeing. When it's safe, be sure to send your pictures and video to share it on our Western Mass News app, or you can email it to us at shareit@westernmassnews.com. Turning now to developing news, the National Football League facing a COVID-19 crisis. This as more team members test positive for the coronavirus, including on the New England Patriots.
Western Mass News reporter Kayla Burton joins us live in Foxborough to tell us how teams are allowing more fans inside stadiums for games despite the outbreak. Kayla?
Well, Chris and Jordyn, if you hadn't noticed, I look a little bit different than I did before. It's definitely soaking out here and pouring rain here in Foxborough. But yes, officials have been working to bring back fans here inside Gillette Stadium for Patriots home games. But now with the recent news of reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore, testing positive for COVID-19, this all may change, and they're really unclear as to what to do going forward. More and more players testing positive for the coronavirus across the league. The Patriots now have positive cases on their team, starting quarterback Cam Newton and cornerback Stephon Gilmore. Though not deemed positive, defensive tackle Bill Murray has been moved to the COVID-19 roster list. But the Patriots are just one of the few teams dealing with the virus. The Tennessee Titans seeing 2 more players testing positive today, bringing their total to 22 members of the team with coronavirus. The Las Vegas Raiders also confirming a positive case. Now, despite the outbreak, teams across the league are planning to bring more fans inside their stadium for games. The Pittsburgh Steelers receiving approval from the state of Pennsylvania, allowing 7,500 people inside of Heinz Field. Roughly 5,500 fans will have a seat. The Cincinnati Bengals also increasing their attendance to 12,000 fans. Meantime, in Florida, a state that is ranked near the top of COVID-19 cases throughout the pandemic, Governor Ron DeSantis giving the Miami Dolphins the green light to host fans at full capacity. Now, that's nearly 65,000 people. But the Dolphins themselves rejecting that idea today, planning to stick with 13,000 fans for the remaining of the season. Now, as for the Patriots hosting fans, as I mentioned, they are still working to figure out if they can get fans back inside here at Gillette Stadium. But due to the recent news of Stephon Gilmore and other players testing positive for the coronavirus, that is still to be determined, so we will keep you guys posted. Live in Foxborough while it's pouring rain, Kayla Burton, guys, back to you.
All right, Kayla, go dry off. Now to new information out of Springfield. The spokesperson for Springfield Public Schools tells Western Mass News tonight that their flu shot partnership with CVS has been expanded to include children 3 years of age and older.
This comes after the program announced they would only be servicing children 9 years old and above. Just a reminder that this partnership, which runs through the entire month of October, allows parents to bring their kids to school locations to receive their state-mandated flu shots. You will need to register online ahead of time. The next 3 available clinics are at Talmadge Elementary School on Allen Street, which is open on October 9th, then Rebecca Johnson on Catherine Street and Washington Elementary School, which are both open on the 14th.
And a link to register for these clinics and all of the upcoming ones can be found on our website, westernmassnews.com.
Also, for more coverage on the coronavirus emergency as it continues to develop, log on to our free Western Mass News streaming app.
The Massachusetts Department of Public Utilities has approved a settlement agreement with Columbia Gas for its role in the Merrimack Valley gas explosions just over 2 years ago. In the settlement, Columbia Gas agrees to pay $56 million, leave the state of Massachusetts, and transfer its assets to Eversource. State officials say the money will provide debt relief to thousands of low-income gas customers, as well as fund clean energy efficiency measures in older homes and buildings in the towns of Lawrence, Andover, and North Andover.
Nearly 1 year after the partial collapse of a Holyoke building, it still is in pieces and now littered with trash.
Western Mass News reporter Sarah Granelli is getting answers about who is responsible and when the cleanup might begin.
Bricks and rubble litter the ground on High Street in Holyoke. The area is still blocked off by a fence after a partial building collapse nearly a year ago.
The building collapsed, just the roof. Then the building started to make some pressure to outside and danger my building because my building is common wall with the other building.
Eddie Rivera is the owner of the building next door. He says it's been a long process to get this mess cleaned up. Western Mass News received a copy of the permit pulled for the building to be taken down. You can see it was issued January of this year. But 10 months later, the building remains an open shell. The area turned into somewhat of a dumping site with trash and tires thrown over the fence. According to Rivera, in order to demolish the building next door, which is owned by Paper City Partner LLC, contractors needed to be able to secure his building from the inside. But then the coronavirus pandemic hit, which slowed down the entire process.
It's supposed to be cleaned out long time ago. The problem is because COVID-19, one of the tenants was scared to move out. We tried to provide hotel and everything.
Once the apartments and this room were ready, the supportive work was done. Western Mass News reached out to the Holyoke building inspector, Damian Cody, to get answers on when the building will be demolished. He sent us a statement that reads in part, "I can say that the contractor that has completed the supportive work to the neighboring structure has completed the work, and we will likely be inspecting this work this week pending some paperwork. After that, the demolition contractor can proceed to remove the building. I have not heard when they are planning to start up again." For Rivera, he hopes the building will be cleaned up soon.
I think we are almost the other side of the river, so very soon we can enjoy it. When cows pain, now we can maybe smiling after everything and forget what happened before.
Sarah Gurnelli, Western Mass News.
New at 6, the Diocese of Springfield is publishing an online survey in hopes of improving its response to sexual abuse allegations and victim assistance. Officials say the survey will be used by their independent task force, which is charged with providing recommendations to improve how the diocese responds, investigates, and handles those allegations.
We are inviting anyone from the community, whether they're within the Catholic faith community or within the broader Western Mass community, to participate by taking the survey and giving input into, one, how the diocese has handled matters of sexual abuse in the past, and also what are the opportunities for improvement.
The task force says it will use the information to help develop its strategic plan. The online survey goes live Thursday, October 8th, and will be available through Monday, October 19th. The link to the site can be found on our website, westernmassnews.com.
And still to come on Western Mass News, tackling the coronavirus pandemic, how the UMass Ambassador Program is getting out critical safety information as cases continue to rise. Dawn?
And good news, looks like the severe threat is winding down. Cooler air headed our way to close out the work week. My full forecast coming up.